Okay, I think we're right to go. So basically what we're going to cover is Section 109 of the Constitution. Now, one of the most common questions that you get in legal studies exams is, what is the significance of Section 109? It's basically a federalism question. It'll be in Section A, under Government and Governance. So we're going to have a look at this and basically run you through how to answer it. A really short answer for what is the significance of Section 109 is basically that it deals with inconsistencies. It's okay, I guess, that if you like to write a one sentence answer, then that would be okay, but it won't probably get you an A mark. So we need to look at it in a bit more detail. So we need to look at basically how the inconsistencies come about, how they're resolved, and what implications it might cause as well. So the first thing we need to cover is, what is a federal system of government? So a federal system basically has three key features. The first is that it has a central government. In Australia, that's a Commonwealth. It has regional governments, so are the states. And the third key feature is that it has a division of power between them. So with the way that power is divided, it's basically determined by the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act. Now, the first time that you write that, you should write it out in full. So that's Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 UK. Now, the reason that it's from the UK is that the Commonwealth Parliament wasn't created then. So we actually federated in 1901, but it was from legislation from 1900s. So the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, or once you've written it out in full the first time, you can just call it the Constitution. It outlines what powers the states have and what powers the Commonwealth has. Basically, under the Constitution, the number one section that we need to know about before Section 109 is Section 51. Now, Section 51 outlines what are called specific powers. And it's got a list of 40 powers there, 39 sections, but there's an A, there's an A section in there. So it outlines 40 powers that the Commonwealth can make laws on. Some of those only the Commonwealth can make laws on, and they're called exclusive powers. So that's only the Commonwealth. All the others are called concurrent. And that's both the Commonwealth and the states can make laws on those. We'll come back to that in a little bit, I'll just circle that. And anything that's not mentioned in the Constitution is called residual powers. And residual powers are basically the responsibility of the states. So things like crime, transport, education, etc. So we've worked out what a federal system is. We've worked out how Australia divides its power between the states and the Commonwealth. But the issue around Section 109 comes into play with these concurrent powers. And that's basically because if a state has the ability to make laws, and also the Commonwealth's got the ability to make laws, then what can happen is it can cause inconsistencies. So I'll give you an example, would be the marriage laws. If Tasmania was to allow for same-sex couples to marry, but Australia said they can't, so the Commonwealth Parliament said that they can't, then someone living in Tasmania, do you follow Tasmanian laws or do you follow the Commonwealth laws? It's a difficult one to know. So because of those inconsistencies, there has to be a way to resolve those inconsistencies. And that's where Section 109 really comes into play. Now, if you want an A standard answer for this, then you really should know Section 109 basically by heart. Hopefully I don't stuff it up now that I've said it, you need to know it by heart. I think it says something along these lines. So it says where a law of a state is inconsistent with the law of the Commonwealth, the latter shall prevail. So the latter being the Commonwealth. So it says the Commonwealth law shall prevail. And the former to the extent of the inconsistency be invalid. So the full quote is, where a law of a state is inconsistent with the law of the Commonwealth, the latter shall prevail and the former to the extent of the inconsistency be invalid. In plain English, it means Commonwealth law prevails. So if Tasmania had the rights for same-sex married couples to be allowed, the Commonwealth says it's not allowed. Under Section 109, the Commonwealth law prevails. So the Tasmanian law would become invalid. It's not quite as clear-cut as that. One thing that needs to be mentioned is who decides if it's invalid or not. So the body that decides whether it's invalid or not is basically the High Court. So the High Court has power under Section 71 and Section 76 to rule on disputes between the Commonwealth and the states, and they can determine under Section 109 whether Commonwealth law prevails or whether it doesn't. The term for that would be ultra vires, if it's outside the power of that body to make the laws on it. So as I said, you could answer this in one sentence where you say Section 109 is about dealing with inconsistencies, but the reality is you need to explain what a federal system is, you need to explain why there can be inconsistencies, and then you can say how they're dealt with. As always, with A standard responses, you want to make sure that there's plenty of examples, preferably real life examples, quoting sections, and making sure that your theory is really sound. Anyway, that's it from me. No questions asked during that, but see a few people have been watching, so I appreciate that. Don't hesitate to ask questions after the fact or view it later. Thank you. Oh, didn't mean the filter to go.